Network. I will be your host today. My name is Troy. I want to thank you all for coming to CUBN. This is the CUBN News Hour. I'm about to read you a story of tornadoes, 8 of them. Now, normally when these tornadoes hit, they've got wind gusts that are ridiculous, and it just wipes out everything in its sight. And it sounds like a choo-choo train coming down. I have not ever in my whole entire life actually saw a tornado in front of me or around me. I just see the pictures and watch people all over talk about it. 8 tornadoes carved through Indiana. Thousands. In Kokomo without power. Lord have mercy. Help them, please. It's 12:49 p.m. update. Indiana Governor Mike Pence says it is a miracle that no one was killed or badly hurt by a tornado that hit the city of Kokomo. The Associated Press reported. Pence spoke Thursday after touring a neighborhood and a business hit by Wednesday's tornado. The National Weather Service says it was an EF3 tornado, packing winds up to 165 miles per hour. It's a miracle and it's a testament to good common sense, Pence said. Pence also visited a Red Cross shelter where some 200 people spent the night. He credited quick thinking and early warnings of approaching storm for the lack of serious injuries. Pence and the U.S. Senate Joe Donnelly were among officials who talked with residents in a neighborhood where homes were also damaged by a 2013 tornado. Donnelly said Kokomo is a resilient, tough community, and that all the residents he spoke with vowed to rebuild. 8:37 a.m. update. At least 8 tornadoes ripped through Indiana Wednesday. The National Weather Service reported more than 18,000 Duke Energy's customers were still without power Thursday morning. More than 17,000 of those affected were in Kokomo, which weathered the worst of the storm damage. We are very blessed to tell you we don't have any serious injuries. Howard County Sheriff Steve Rogers said during a news conference this morning. That is so sad. Rogers said just 10 to 15 people suffered minor injuries after storms that downed trees, power lines, and buildings in Howard County. 8 confirmed tornadoes ripped through the Hendricks, Boney, Hamilton, Tipton, and Howard counties Wednesday night, the National Weather Service said. 6 of the tornadoes were produced by a single line of supercell storm clouds. 2 more thunderstorms produced separate tornadoes in Avon and to the northwest of Lafayette. The storms damaged homes and 2 apartment complexes in Kokomo, forcing about 220 people into temporary shelters overnight. Kokomo Mayor Greg Goodnight said at the news conference, where we're all very grateful that there were no fatalities and no serious injuries, Goodnight said. The damage followed a similar path to the tornadoes that struck Kokomo in November 2013, Goodnight said. Our hearts are with people who have experienced this twice, Goodnight said. Earlier, at least 2 confirmed tornadoes ripped through central Indiana on Wednesday, causing only minor injuries but damaging several homes and leaving more than 30,000 people without power, including 3,400 in Indianapolis. The most damage appeared to occur in Kokomo, where an EF3 tornado leveled a Starbucks and tore roofs off of apartment buildings, causing city and Howard County officials to declare states of emergency. Wind speeds typically associated with the EF3 can range anywhere between 136 to 165 miles per hour, according to the National Weather Service. Multiple lightning. The sky got black. Wind came through like a train. And everything went black, said Bob Esposito, a Kokomo resident. An EF1 tornado, which can reach wind speeds of 111 to 135 per hour, also touched down just east of Crawfordsville in Montgomery County. The tornado watches or warnings were issued in more than 30 counties in Indiana, spanning from Owens and Putnam counties, in the west and across the state line and into parts of eastern Ohio. They extended as far north as Huntington and as far as south of Bloomington and Columbus. About a dozen people suffered minor injuries across the state, said Indiana State Police spokesman Captain David Burston. With most of those injuries in Howard County, a 5-month-old child suffered a deep cut in the Montgomery County, Burston said. The storms pulled Governor Mike Pence off the campaign trail in North Carolina and back to Indiana. The Republican vice president candidate visited the state's Emergency Operations Center in Indianapolis. Pence announced that he and Lieutenant Governor Eric Holcomb planned to survey storm damage in Howard and Montgomery counties on Thursday. Pence said he would remain in the state as long as we need to make sure hosers receive the support they needed. The full extent of the damage sustained in Kokomo and the rest of the state was still mostly unknown by sundown. It's a long process, especially when there's a lot of damage to look at, said Joe Skowronek. A weather service meteorologist, he added that the potential for severe weather would continue into Thursday, as the forecast included many of the same conditions as Wednesday. Thursday's high was forecast to be 88 degrees. This is not that hot. In Indianapolis, numerous storm warnings blasted through the day, urging hosers to seek shelter. After multiple funnel clouds were reported in the city and surrounding area, tornado warnings remained in effect for much of the state until 9 p.m. The Indianapolis Department of Homeland Security tweeted that police confirmed at these 3 funnel clouds in the city. Funnel clouds were spotted near the Indiana State Fairgrounds and near 38th Street and Georgetown Road, as well as on the city's east side in the 200 block of South Short Ridge Road. According to the Department of Homeland Security, a tornado is reportedly on the ground on the city's east side near 21st Street and Ryder Avenue, but that remained unconfirmed by Wednesday evening. It was just twirling, said Grover Edwards, 49, who works at the cell phone shop at the intersection of 21st and Ritter. It didn't destroy nothing, but just twirled like kind of a flew over. Heavy rain followed the funnel clouds sighting. Edwards took shelter inside the shop until things calmed down. Across the street, Yasmin Bittencourt and Michael Kristen of Hoser Lottery were installed tickets machines at a new gas station when they noticed the clouds feeding inside themselves. was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Benton Court said the clouds were moving upward into the massive rotation. When Christine and Benton Court stepped outside to capture the scene on their phones, they saw 3 young children hunkered down at a bus stop. We felt responsible for them. Benton Court said, so we went out there and took care of those 3 kids. They brought the children inside the gas station and waited for the storm to pass. That is so... so... The severe storm also meant a longer day for thousands of Indianapolis public school students. IPS officials dismissed elementary schools until 5:45 p.m. because of the tornado warning, school spokesman Kristen Coulter said. At the center of the Inquiry School, 27 at 545 Eastern 19th Street, 4th grader Jada Collins was the last student to leave. It was kind of scary because the lights kept switching on and off, said Collins. 10 and 1 inch know about tornadoes. That they are damaged. They are dangerous, but I felt safe because we were all together. More than 400 students and 100 parents huddled in the hallways from the dismissal time at 3:45 p.m. until 6:16 p.m. as the tornado warnings kept coming. Then were lifted. The students and parents alternately relaxed. Then curled up against the wall with knees bent to their chests and their heads covered with their arms. Principal Brandy Herbert said, I was so proud of everyone. The way they took care of each other and stayed calm. Herbert said, we practice it often and it paid off. It's the sheltering in place drill, and we kept them away from the doors and windows. The first parents to arrive in cars came right as the first warning to take shelter came in, and Herbert invited them inside. All were glad to ride out the storm with their children, she said. The staff listened to the crackling weather radio in the principal's office as it blared out warnings. Herbert said she kept the student informed with updates over the speakers and updated parents whose children take the bus about when they could pick them up. It was back and forth, Herbert said, of the warnings and the estimated times the children would be released. The students were given snacks. Extracurricular activities were canceled. Finally, just before 6 p.m., IPS gave the all clear to send the children home. Jada's father, Damon 40, pulled up in a sport utility vehicle about 7 p.m. after a busy afternoon. His son Judah, a 5-year-old, was kept over at Joyce Kelmer School, 69, and was in the car waiting for his sister when she hopped in. I was concerned because the weather looked bad, Collins said, but I knew that they were probably safe in the brick buildings like this. At the Indiana Red Cross Regional Headquarters in Indianapolis, a team of employees and volunteers were manning an operations center, while another 10 volunteers waited Wednesday for possible assignments in the Kokomo area. We won't have a good idea until tomorrow when we can get out and do damage assessments. We probably will see more people show up looking for help, said Brooke Reister, Workforce Engagement Manager for the Indiana chapter. The Indiana Red Cross has set up an emergency shelter at the Kokomo Event and Conference Center, 1500 North Reed Road, where 200 people were being housed and fed by 9 p.m. Wednesday. Another shelter was opened at Walnut Elementary School in New Rose in Montgomery County. In Kokomo, Johnny Taskey heard a squirrel screech loudly from a tree outside her home on the 1000 block of Clark Street just after 8 p.m. She didn't know why. Then I saw her jump down to the fallen tree and grab a baby, she said, motioning to the massive maple lying across her Ford F-150 truck. There must be another one in there. Shoot. The half-century-old tree slammed into the awning above her front door on its way down. But Taskey said they never heard the tornado, even when it was tearing through the streets at about 3:30 p.m. We were watching out the back, and when I saw that swirling and shingles and stuff, I said, "We're getting in the closet," she said. Taskey, her husband, and their 2 dogs then took shelter. We were in there for not 4 minutes, she said. I never heard anything. I didn't feel it. This is what we came out to. Beth Morton, another Kokomo resident, was able to get her dogs to safety just as the storm was ending. I looked out my front window, and looked to the west, and I could see rotation, Morton said. The dogs were scared to death. They were screaming. By sunset, the Cedar Creek subdivision was eerily quiet, save for the growling of a rare generator.